Gingerbread itself has been around for about 1,000 years, and originally I understand that the idea came from an Armenian monk that went to live in France, and he taught the French how to make gingerbread using breadcrumbs and honey and spices and cooking it on the top of the stove. Gingerbread houses are very much about design and construction, so anybody can make their own shape gingerbread house, and I would suggest the best way to do that is to build a cardboard shape in the beginning so that you can mock it up, and then you can decide whether you need it larger or smaller, and then transfer that into a stencil so that you've just got pieces of paper that you can cut around once you've rolled the cookie dough out. To construct the house, what we need to do is to put some royal icing into a bag, and you can easily make a bag from some paper, and then carefully apply the royal icing to the edges of the gingerbread so that you can then just stick one edge to another face. And then we just hold them there with some jars or tins so that there's quite a lot of pressure on it to stick together and it's not kind of falling crooked, because that just wouldn't work. But then you just let that sit for about an hour and then you can come back to it. The easiest way to decorate a gingerbread house is definitely using a selection of lovely sweets and lollies, and I have to say that that is what children really want the most. The easiest thing to do is to separate all the lollies into different coloured bowls, so then you can start to plan out how you want the whole gingerbread to look like according to sort of colour schemes. And I like to cut lollies into little pieces and turn them into something else and find interesting shapes within them, or stick lollies together and make things like mushrooms and build little piles of things. So that creative part is a lot of fun, using the colours and shapes. The top tips to make a really good gingerbread, the number one is that you make sure that the edges are very, very straight before you start gluing the sides together. The second one is that you are very patient when you're constructing the gingerbread to make sure that you don't do everything too fast. You let one part of it set before you add the next part, which is usually the roof. The third one is that you do some practice with the icing beforehand. And the fourth one is just to make sure that you separate all of the colours out, and then you start to formulate a plan that is bringing the colours together. I think a colour scheme on the gingerbread is probably an important part in the decoration, rather than just lots of colours of lollies everywhere. I think it's quite nice to bring sort of some pattern in there with the colours.